It's January 23rd, 1 week away from Dmm Annihilation's release, and Jagex finally posted a new blog. I'm going to be reading it to you guys, so let's see what we find out. All right, Dmm Annihilation kicks off on January 30th at 17 UTC. If you're in the US, that is 12 o'clock Eastern. If you're in Central Time Zone like me, that's going to be 11 a.m. The finale's on the 21st, and the Worlds will be going down on the 20th. Demo Mode Annihilation kicks off this month. To get you up to speed ahead of January 30th, we're back with another blog covering all of the finer detail you need to start planning. If you're out of the loop, make sure to check out our overview covering the most important top-level changes that separate Dmm Mode Annihilation from previous Dmm Mode events. You can find that overview blog by clicking here, yada yada yada. Nice video by Pure Spam, I already watched it. Among the most important changes this time around is that you'll now be able to spend the Deadman points that you earn on sigils or permanent account unlocks, meaning no more late night Ice Barrage sessions chasing one sigil. You'll need to realize your perfect build. Naturally, this means that you'll want to know how many points you can earn for various activities, how many points all the sigils will cost, which quests are auto-completed, everything you need to know to plan out your starting route and get your bearings before being thrust into PvP carnage. If you're reading this thinking, yeah, I'd love to know those things, then you've come to the right place. Funny enough, I've already started my plan out with my friend, and we already finished making it, and now we're going to have to redo it because, spoiler, there's no more waterfall quest, there's no more Tree Gnome Village, there's no more Monkey Madness. Those are all quests that are auto-completed upon login. So we're going to start out with the finale now. They say it wouldn't be a Deadman without an epic finale, and it wouldn't be a Deadman finale without a change in format. Falador's seen enough action, yada yada yada. So now we are going to be doing it at a different place. Okay, the shores aren't all that sunny, but we've also got an epic twist to brighten things up. This time around, find yourselves forcibly teleported to Damon's crater, and Gielinor is blanketed in lethal fog. You'll open your eyes to find yourself beset on all sides by allies. So basically, this finale is going to be two separate teams, and once it gets down to fewer numbers, it will turn into a free-for-all battle with one sole survivor. So hopefully this helps weeding out like clanman mode, and it'll just be whoever wins it. This time around for the prizes, they aren't actually going to do any real world money. Just decided that they didn't want it to be toxic and have people DDoSing for advantages for real world money. Maybe in the future demo modes they will have money back into the equation, but for now, it's just going to be a 1v1 finale, or not a 1v1 finale, a free-for-all finale to sort out the winners. And each stage will go at a set time, so if you want to do all four brackets, then you can do all four brackets on separate accounts. Deadman mode points. Just like before, you'll be able to earn Deadman mode points by doing just about anything. These points can be spent on the Deadman skull for unlocks within Deadman Annihilation, and all of the points you earn will be usable to obtain cosmetic rewards in the main game. This section details exactly what just about anything actually means and how many points are up for grabs, so brace yourself for a lot of numbers. Breaches. 1 point per damage, and you're going to be able to get up to 5,000 damage per day and earn up to 25,000 total points from the breaches in about a week. By the end of the season, you'll be allowed 75k total points from the breaches. So breaches are going to be a really good bet for getting your points up there, and should be nice and easy. From level 1 to 49, you're going to get 5 points per like skill total level. So any level that you're going to be getting up. Levels 50 to 99, it's going to be increased to 10, and once you hit 99, you'll get 300 point bonus. Collection logs are 10 points each. Clue scrolls, you can see how it goes up. 5 for the beginners and all the way up to 55 for the masters. Your first completion will be 5x, and you cap out at 100 clues. Achievement diaries are 15 points for easy, up to 60 for the elites, and you're not going to be awarded any sort of bonus for a tier completion. So if you don't want to do one of the diaries, then you don't have to do it. Combat achievements scale similarly. Easy tasks are 10 points, masters are 50, grandmaster 75. I will not be touching most of those. Boss kills. Your first kill on a boss awards 5x the specified points, and 100 is the cap, meaning if you do 101, you're going to be getting 0 points. You could pause the video if you'd like to look at all of these different point totals, but basically, depending on the monster's difficulty, is how many points you're going to be awarded. So for something like KBD, super easy, that's 5 points, versus the Inferno, which is harder content, that's 100 points. If you need an in-game reminder, you can use the dedicated Deadman section of the quest tab to show your points and other stuff like that. Time remaining, you get it. Shop unlocks. This section will detail how many points you'll need for the various shop unlocks. All right, easy enough. Looks like you can toggle and attune your stuff on this page as well. There's going to be permanent unlocks, and then there's going to be ones that you need to attune and unattune for your PvP sigils specifically. I'm just going to be highlighting the new stuff, so let's talk about the Ruinous Powers sigil. It gives the player access to the Ruinous Powers prayer book. That's 5k points, which is quite a bit. If you look at Death Strikes, a pretty easy basic sigil, that's only 100. So automation. When you're within 10 tiles of your cannon has 5 cannonballs or less, your cannon will automatically be reloaded. Okay, that's pretty sick. I like that. Gives you more time to look at your mini map in case PKers are coming, so pretty sick. Efficiency. On failing to chop a tree or a fish, you will have a separate 50% chance to succeed. 2x increased resources for fishing, woodcutting, and farming. Pretty cool. 500 skull points for that one. Not too bad. Reminder that your skull points will be being used on sigils as well as quest completions. And there might be one more thing that you'll be using them on. So don't put all your eggs in one basket if you're wanting to use them on sigils versus quest completions. Sigil of the Eternal Belief is 2,000 points, and it's permanent prayer with no drainage unless you're getting smited by your opponent. So if you're PVMing and you're not getting smited, then you're never going to have to prayer, which is pretty cool. Conclusion, another 5k. When killing NPC, receive 10% special attack energy back. The NPC must be within 15 tiles of you and can't have been in PvP combat for the last 24 seconds. Very cool. I'm not sure how good this is going to be. It's probably going to be most OP for Slayer because you'll be killing NPCs more often than bossing, but I guess it'll be good wherever you're using it. Lots of the same here. Sigil of the Gods. Basically, this is a buff for all the different god spells. So, Flames of Zami has a 10 chance to have a bleed effect, and Claws of Guthix does 50% of the damage dealt will drain the defense level, pretty much. And then Ceradoman Strike will drain your opponent's prayer by 30% of the damage done. So basically, Zamorak is more damage, Guthix drains the defense level, and Ceradoman drains the prayer. Take a moment to look at the different lamps that you can redeem. So it looks like Recipe for Disaster, which would be Barrow's Gloves essentially. The Camelot storyline, all the way up to King's Ransom. The Fremennik storyline, the Elf storyline. So I believe the Elf storyline is completes up to and including roving elves. Got it. So if you want to do what's it called? Corrupted Hunlif, or whatever that quest is, you're gonna have to do that yourself. Gnome storyline lamp for 5k, all the way up to Monkey Madness 2. Very nice. Caridian storyline, which is TOA unlock. Fire Key storyline, which is Theater of Blood. Dragonkin storyline, which is Dragon Slayer 2. Mahajarat, or whatever, that's DT1. And then DT2 is the second storyline. So if you want the XP rewards from DT1, make sure you don't unlock it. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting that quest experience. Let's talk about the main game reward costs. Of course, the points that you earn will carry over to the main game, where you'll be able to trade them for the brand new cosmetics. These are all unlocked in the form of tradable items, which also function sort of like a permanent unlock. For example, if you manage to lose your crystal armor recolor, you can visit Nigel and Lumbridge with another crystal set and recolor them to the Dmm Mode Annihilation theme for free. Here's what's up for grabs and how much they cost. I'm not going to read those out, so if you want to look at those, you can screenshot it. Ruinous Powers. Not sure I want to talk much about this, so if you want to learn more, just look at this and pause the video. Dead Man's Chest Mechanics. Okay. When an NPC with at least 30 hit points dies, there's a rare chance to get this Dead Man Mode chest. In a single way combat, takes 60 seconds and 30 in a multi. An enemy will spawn alongside the chest, and you'll want to deal with him before opening the chest. When attempting to open the chest, any form of combat or engaging with your account will disrupt the time period of opening the chest. Dead Man's Chest cannot spawn in instances like raids. For some NPCs, where spawns would likely be impossible to open, the chest will spawn outside of the area where the NPC is located. Some examples include Scurious, Dagonoth Kings, KBD, etc. Must be risking at least 100k to open the chest. I think that's just incentivizing people not being naked noobs getting these chests and actually having risk, because bank keys are no longer a thing. If you have PvP immunity protection, you're not able to open these chests. And if you open this chest, you're going to be guaranteed either a Trinket of Advanced Weaponry, Trinket of the Undead, Morgan's items, Ancient Warrior items, or VLSs, stuff of that nature, the Thunder Kopesh, and the Dog Sword as well. Other gameplay changes. This is a big deal. Look at all of these quests that are auto-completed. I don't know why they're doing this to us, but my guess is to make the early game way different and throw a curveball, because most people start off with waterfall quest and things of that nature. And as you can see down here, waterfall quest is autocomplete. So say goodbye to your 51 attack and 51 strength right off the rip. We're all going to have to think of something else to do. So big deal. All of these, take a look for a second. For Dmm Mode Annihilation, only the Rev Caves have been given a makeover. So basically, they're splitting it in half. Half of the cave is going to be a single plus, and the other half is multi-combat area. They're two separate caves now, depending on if you're entering from the southern or northern entrance. And this change is only for Dmm Mode. On a related note, we fixed a bug from Dmm Armageddon where loot multipliers were happening in Rev Caves. It's no longer happening. In PvP, all single instances of damage are capped at 85, with the exception of Darok sets. Spell icons will have resizing. Private God Wars dungeon instances are disabled. Once you've done the tutorial, you can choose any of the starting locations at the beginning of the game: Varrock, Lumbridge, East Ardy, Gnome Stronghold, or Korend Castle. On your first login, you'll be provided with a number of items, including a Dead Man Mode starter pack. Once you've opened the pack, you're going to be getting 30 untradeable tuna in your bank, 12 on your person, 10 chronicle teleports, a looting bag, a a cape with bonuses, some starting weapons and gear, and a Draymond staff. So if you saw my episode a week or two ago, everything you need to know about Dmm Annihilation, I did not include a lot of this stuff because we didn't know about it. So I was relaying the information that we had at the time. So unfortunate for both of us, but now we can see that there is indeed starter weapons and other things of that nature included. Items obtained from Uptorial Island will be going straight into your bank, and now NPCs outside of an instance have a new global loot table, and you can get God D'hide chaps, various potions, ancient staves, gems, cannonballs, and other stuff of that nature. For anything above 50 combat, you'll also have the chance of getting Master Wand, Mage Book, and Ancient Warrior Armor. Players can now use noted teleport cards on the Chronicle. Shop stocks are differently depending on the shop. I'm not going to read all that, but basically, I don't think the shops restock like they did in leagues automatically because of the integrity of a fresh economy mattering. In Dmm mode versus leagues, it doesn't really matter. Maniacal Monkey tunnels and MM2 have had the rate at which they provide supply drops reduced. Leaving bags are now common. Supply drops for skilling actions now occur at a rate of 1 in 1,000 as opposed to 1 in 500. When spank keys are removed, players' risk will be indicated by skulls over their head, similar to Bounty Hunter. So bronze means 200k or less, irons between 200 and 8k. Okay, so most people will be looking like bronze or iron probably. So you're gonna have a feast on your hands if you see green, blue, or red. But I do like that change. Any quest items that are obtained from automatic quest unlocks, or quest lamps unlocks can be reclaimed indefinitely from the combat tutors and Lumbridge. Example, Ivan's staff, Crystal Shield. Starter packs no longer provide a free sigil once per day. Instead, you'll be granted some points to log into purchase a sigil from the Skull Shop. Okay. Note that you will still be able to choose one of your combat sigils at the beginning, like Ruthless Ranger, Formidable Fighter, or Menacing Mage. So any of the 3 different combat styles. Starter packs no longer provide 5k. I like that. Magic Tutor, your magic autocast settings, remember which spell you used when switching between weapons if you haven't attacked another player in the last 20 ticks. Interesting. When getting a kill in a single combat zone, you will be reminded periodically in the chat box how much immunity time you have left until you can be attacked by another player. Immunity is removed when teleporting or logging out. DJ timer has increased from 20 to 24 ticks. Nihil shards and regular spirit shields have been made more common from Nex and Corp. You'll be able to enter a raid while in combat. Players who PvP protection active or very low risk 12th will not be able to enter raid areas such as those different areas. The respawn times for item spawns and NPCs have been made significantly faster. God books obtained from completing Horror of the Deep will automatically be completed, so no need to acquire your own pages. Very interesting change right there. So sounds like you can just purchase one off the rip if you have the money for it from Purdue or somebody at the Grand Exchange. The Arceus library is closed for demo mode. Emblem Trader Shop is receiving some changes. The Ancient Scepter has been added. Items purchased from the trader are not noted wherever possible. Halos purchased from the Emblem Trader can no longer be alchemized. Players' default respawn point is set to the Grand Exchange. Experience is now granted even when you're inside an instance, though only at a 3x rate. As a result, Nightmare Zone will be inaccessible. Slayer XP is exempt from this. You will always be granted full Slayer XP according to your brackets modifier. Wilderness Slayer will provide significantly fewer Tier 5 emblems than in previous Dmm mode events. Logout delay will not apply if you're in a safe zone. Hit points requirements will not apply to the Amulet of Rancor. Confliction Gauntlets, or any Zenite jewelry. Blighted Overloads now deal 10 damage to you, down from 25, and reduce your defense to 90%, up from 80. The other Chaos Druid at the Chaos Temple will be able to unnote your bones. Items above a certain value cannot be banked outside of a safe zone if you've been in combat within the last 60 seconds. It's a cool change. That means if you're in a bank fight, you can't just dump everything into the bank, which is awesome. There's no longer a delay for consuming food or potions after closing your bank while in a safe zone. Creating the Emberlight, Purging Staff, and Scorching Bow will not require completion of while Gothic sleeps. Some ladders that lead to overpowered 1x1 hiding spots, meaning it's not possible to get attacked, are under maintenance, I guess. Wintertot and Temperos are now safe zones. Cool. A Wizguard, yes, you were reading this right, will freeze you for a short duration if you run into a guarded area while skulled. Cool. If you're skulled and teleport using a portal in your POH, you'll be warned if your destination is a safe zone. PK Skull Prevention has been enabled in Dmm mode. Is turned on by a default. It can be turned off in settings menu in the same fashion as the main game. Wilderness Agility Course slap counts do not reset when you leave the course. Solar's damage cap limit hits a maximum of 50. Has been removed. The Trinket of Vengeance has been removed. We've fixed a bug where players stood on fairy rings could not be attacked while frozen. The Eclipse Atlatl and Arcane Blade have their burn damage reduced from 15 to 10. Minnow fishing requires 100k fee to access the platform. This change is meant to hinder bots. Cool. And I guess that's everything. My biggest takeaways from this blog are that these new sigils are very important to be in the know about. I forgot to mention that Sigil of Alchemaniac is now a sigil that will automatically recast over time, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see all these skull point costs so you can kind of budget where you need to add up to and things of that nature. The finale was cool to hear about. I'm a little bummed there's no prize money, even though I never would have a chance. The Dead Man's Chess mechanics are good to know a little bit more about. Good to know the NPC that drops them needs to have at least 30 HP, and it takes 60 or 30 seconds to open this after defeating the boss, and you also need 100k to open it for a bunch of these different goodies. Dog Sword's much better than I thought it was. They're tier 60 weapons, so they'll be used in every combat bracket. But the biggest takeaway I have is all of the different quests that are completed. They probably just did this to throw a wrench in everyone's plan and spice it up, because the meta is usually to start off with these big quests such as Waterfall. So I guess it's just gonna create new metas and make people have to critically think a little bit more, which kind of sucks. But I think the show will go on and we'll all come up with our own stuff anyway. It just kind of maybe levels the playing field for people like me. It's not just a cop out to go do Waterfall Quest and blaze up the rankings. Now you got to actually do some stuff. Still annoyed that they took so long to upload this, because of the video I made is no longer true about the starter pack. So you will have your weapons. You'll have a shitload of tuna. I don't know why you need 42 free tuna, but good to know all of those things. And the global loot table is very different now, dropping things like cannonballs and gems. And yeah, not sure how I feel about that, but I don't think it matters too much. It just kind of messes with some sort of money-making methods. Cannonballs, for instance, That was one I was going to do for sure. So that bothers me. Also, early game fishing to sell for money. Well, now everybody has 42 tuna, so nobody's really going to be needing food. So, um, cool to finally figure out what the skull colors for over your head are going to be based on your GP. So, hopefully, I'll be seeing a lot of people in the green, blue, and red. I think I've covered all of my bases and read the blog. If you want to know a little bit more in-depth detail, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the post that Old School RuneScape has already created with Pure Spam. Where is it? Holy cow, found it. As you can see, I've already watched it. But Pure Spam and John MP4 made it together. That could be a little bit more informative than what I know. But hope you guys enjoyed the video and the quick rundown, and good luck, and I'll see you guys out there a week from today for Dmm Annihilation.